Merry Christmas, guys! I'm here with my Christmas book haul, just like I promised I would be. There is not a Christmas that goes by that I don't get books as a gift. I'm very thankful for that. It definitely is one of my favorite gifts to get. I have actually a smaller pile here than usual. I think everybody knows that I went a little ham last year with my book buying. It's a little bit more reserved this year, which we're not mad about because we have plenty of books on the shelves to read, am I right? Yeah, let's just get into it. Some of these books I don't even know a whole lot about myself. They were ones that were maybe added to my Amazon wish list a while ago, and they were chosen at random by whoever bought them for me. So the first ones that I have to talk about are a set. It is this series by Iain M. Banks, a culture novel. It is books 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first one being Consider Phlebas. The novels of Iain M. Banks have forever changed the face of modern science fiction. His culture books combine breathtaking imagination with exceptional storytelling and have secured his reputation as one of the most extraordinary and influential writers of the genre. This series, or this book in particular, says, "War rages across the galaxy. Billions have died. Billions more are doomed. Moons, planets, the very stars themselves face cold-blooded, brutal destruction. The adherents fight for their faith, the culture for its moral right to exist. Principles are at stake. There can be no surrender." Within this cosmic conflict, a crucial battle of wits is waged. Deep within a fabled labyrinth on a planet of the dead, forbidden to mortals, lies a fugitive mind. Both the culture and the adherents desperately seek it. It is the fate of Horza, the Changer, and his motley crew of unpredictable mercenaries, human and machine, to actually find it, and with it, their own destruction. Obviously, this is science fiction. Iain M. Banks is, I believe, a pretty classical science fiction writer, like along the lines of Alastair Reynolds. What's the other guy's name? And like Peter F. Hamilton. So that's really all I know. I've heard really great things about it. Jimmy Nuts talked about it in one of his videos not too long ago. This also came with the collection, but it's a short story collection within this same world. The only collection of Iain M. Banks' short fiction and includes the acclaimed culture novella of the same name. From science fiction to horror, dark fantasy to twisted comedy, all 8 stories bear the indefinable stamp of Banks' staggering talent. Road of Skulls, A Gift from the Culture, Odd Attachment, Descendant, Cleaning Up, Peace, The State of the Art, and Scratch. So 8 short stories. The next book is also a collection of short stories, and that is Little Black Book of Stories by A.S. Byatt, Booker Prize winning author of Possession, which I also own and have not yet read. It is a short little book. Little Black Book of Stories offers shivers along with magical thrills. Leaves rustle underfoot in a dark wood. 2 middle-aged women, childhood friends, reunited by chance, venture into a dark forest where once, many years before, they saw, or thought they saw, something unspeakable. Another woman, recently bereaved, finds herself slowly but surely turning into stone. A coolly rational OBGYN has his world pushed off axis by a waif-like art student with her own ideas about the uses of the body. Spellbinding, witty, lovely, and terrifying. The Little Black Book of Stories is Byatt at the height of her craft. Sounds really good. I think this is probably a better way to get into her writing because I think it can be a little dense. Excited to give this one a go. The next one is a tiny little book, and that is Silver in the Wood by Emily Tesh. It is blurbed by Naomi Novik. It says, "A true story of the woods, of the fae, of the heart, deep and green and wonderful. There is a wild man who lives in the deep quiet of Green Hollow, and he listens to the wood. Tobias, tethered to the forest, does not dwell on his past life, but he lives a perfectly unremarkable existence with his cottage, his cat, and his dryads. When Green Hollow Hall acquires a handsome, intensely curious new owner in Henry Silver, everything changes. Old secrets better left buried are dug up, and Tobias is forced to reckon with his troubled past, both the green magic of the woods and the dark things that rest in his heart." This cover is stunning. I mean, look at that detail. This sounds really good, really interesting. It is definitely sci-fi fantasy, and it's only 105 pages long. Oh, the next one, you're going to have to forgive me because I don't know if I can pronounce this name, but it is A Ghost in the Throat by Dorian Griofa, maybe? I butchered that, I'm sure. I'm so sorry. This is When first we met, I was a child, and she had been dead for centuries. On discovering her murdered husband's body, an 18th century Irish noblewoman drinks handfuls of blood and composes an extraordinary lament. Eilean Dubin ní Chonail's poem, so sorry, travels through the centuries, finding its way to a new mother who has narrowly avoided her own fatal tragedy. When she realizes that the literature dedicated to the poem reduces Eilean Dub's life to flimsy sketches, she wants more. The details of the poet's girlhood and old age, her unique rages, joys, sorrows, and desires, the shape of her days and site of her final place of rest. What follows is an adventure in which Dorian sets out to discover Eilean Dub's erased life, and in doing so, discovers her own. Movingly fluid between past and present, quest and elegy, poetry and those who make it, The Ghost in the Throat is a shape-shifting book, a record of a literary obsession, a narrative about the erasure of a people, of a language, of women, a meditation on motherhood and on translation, and an unforgettable story about finding your voice by freeing another's. Sounds very literary. I'm excited to get to this one. Next, I have The Night Ship by Jess Kidd. And I'm pretty sure that I learned about this book and added it to my list after John over at Talking Story had his wife on, and she gave a list of some of her favorite books, some of the books that really moved her and that she loves to recommend to people. And so I'm pretty sure that's what this one is. Based on the true story of a wreck of the Batvia, an epic historical novel from award-winning author Jess Kidd. One shipwreck, two misfits, 3 centuries apart. 1629, a newly orphaned girl named Macon is bound for the Dutch East Indies on the Batvia, one of the greatest ships of the Dutch Golden Age. Curious and mischievous, Macon spends the long journey going on misadventures above and below the deck, searching for a mythical monster, but the true monsters might be closer than she thinks. 1989. After the death of his mother, a lonely boy named Gil is sent to live with his grandfather, a taciturn fisherman off the coast of Western Australia, among the members of the seasonal fishing community where his late mother once lived as a child. There on the tiny reef-shrouded island, he discovers the story of an infamous shipwreck. The Night Ship is an enthralling tale of human brutality, providence, and friendship, and of 2 children, hundreds of years apart, whose fates are inextricably bound together. So again, it seems very literary. I really enjoy when books are based on true stories. Next is one that I've heard a lot about and am very excited to get to, and that is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. It says, when a teenager vanishes from her Adirondack summer camp, 2 worlds collide. Early morning, August 1975. A camp counselor discovers an empty bunk. Its occupant, Barbara Van Laar, has gone missing. Barbara isn't just any 13-year-old. She is the daughter of the family that owns the summer camp and employs most of the region's residents. And this isn't the first time a Van Laar child has disappeared. Barbara's older brother similarly vanished 14 years ago, never to be found. As a panicked search begins, a thrilling drama unfolds, chasing down the layered mysteries of the Van Laar family and the blue-collar community living and working in its shadow. Moore's multi-threaded story invites readers into a rich and gripping dynasty of secrets. Moore's most ambitious and wide-reaching novel yet, The God of the Woods, is a story of inheritance and second chances, the tensions between a family and a community, and a history that will not let any of them go. So again, I've heard that this is very literary. May have some fantastical elements, but really heavily leans towards the literary elements. Very character driven. The next 2 are part of a series, so we'll just talk about them together. And that is Adrian Tchaikovsky's series.
Good afternoon.
Why is my computer talking to me? The Final Architecture, so books 1 and 2, Shards of Earth and Eyes of the Void. I have read 2 things from Adrian Tchaikovsky, Children of Time, and I have book 2, but have not read it yet, and also a short story, which I cannot remember the name of right now, but I can add it here, which was really, really good. Shards of Earth. Idris has neither aged nor slept since they remade him in the war. He used to be a hero, a fighting elite, technologically enhanced not only to be stronger, faster, and near immortal, but to communicate mind to mind with the enemy. Then their alien aggressors, the architects, simply disappeared, and Idris and his kind became obsolete. Now, 50 years later, Idris and his crew have found something strange abandoned in space. It's clearly the work of the architects, but are they returning? And if so, why? Hunted by gangs, cults, and governments, Idris and his crew race across the galaxy hunting for answers, for they now possess something of incalculable value that many would kill to obtain. That sounds great. So I love any kind of alien first contact stories, and that kind of sounds like what this is. In a sense, maybe not. Adrian Tchaikovsky is really great at thinking outside the box and producing stories that are so different and so far off course from what most science fiction authors write. I don't know if you have read Children of Time, but it was quite a surprise to me when I read it. And when an author is able to shock me and surprise me, then yeah, that's something I really gravitate towards. I think that he does that, and he did that in both of his books that I've read so far. I have high hopes for that. I would love to know what books you received for Christmas, because I'm sure that all my book lovers out there received some. That's gonna wrap it up. This was just a quick and dirty Christmas book haul. I'm gonna get back to Christmas Day festivities, all the good things. That's it. Talk to you again soon. Bye.
I had to make sure the mic was on because the last time I filmed, it was not recording.
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all from the lights to the